Real talk, real people, relevant conversations. The I Am Kiana Skills podcast is dedicated to real conversations about issues, emotions, and experiences that affects the lives of everyday people.
I know that's right.
Welcome to the I Am Kiana Skills podcast. Welcome to the I Am Kiana Skills podcast, episode 26, sponsored by the Closet Experience Boutique and Delightful Cakes and Catering. I'm your host, Kiana Scales, and it was such a pleasure having Gino, aka the prodigal son, with us on the Uplift Him episode that y'all know I had to spin the block and bring him back, right? And you know I got my girl Aquanet with me.
What's up, what's up?
Today we will be talking about the release. Y'all like how I said that I was just letting it out.
Okay.
Hey Aquanet, how you doing today?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey Gino, aka the prodigal son, how you doing today?
I'm good, but I'm ready to release too.
Ooh,
Gino
come
in the
on.
house.
Let's jump right into this episode and encourage black men to release the war cry that resides within them.
Yeah.
Y'all ready? Let's do it. Often, I come across situations where boys are told to toughen up. I encounter fathers telling their boys, do not cry or stop crying like a girl. I have encountered this behavior way too often, and I have come to realize that it bothers the heck out of me. This is what inspired this episode. We live in a society where black boys are forced to live up to the stereotypical expectation of masculinity. They are supposed to be tough, brave, and almost impassive, where any sign of emotional vulnerability is seen as a weakness. Telling boys who are more emotionally open and expressive, particularly about sad emotions, that it's not okay for them to be vulnerable because the black culture associates this type of emotional display as feminine attributes. I'm just shaking my head off here because I can't believe it. Because that type of response forces boys to suppress their feelings and emotions. Crying is a big no-no for black boys, and it's often the reason for them to be reprimanded or punished. I have seen black boys fall and injure themselves and have witnessed a parent say, "Stop all that crying, boy. Man up. Boys don't cry. It is just a scrape. Hell, let me look at it. It only look like a scratch." Although with my own eyes, I've seen blood dripping from that same injured area. Y'all, isn't crying the human instinct to react to pain? This needs to be fixed and corrected in our society ASAP.
Right.
In my opinion, this type of behavior in our community should be looked at as a generational curse, not just as toxic masculinity. Let me say this, that toxic masculinity starts at a noticeably young age in our community, almost before children can even form their first words. A boy is given a toy, and y'all can guess what that is, a car or a truck, or even a superhero figurine. Or we know it's got to be some type of action figure, right? Any male child who shows interest in a toy which is seen to be reserved for the female gender, say a Barbie doll, instantly everybody in the family in the black culture is shocked. They gonna rebuke that thing in the name of Jesus, right?
This is true.
Boys don't play with that, is what you will hear throughout the house. Oh no, like it's a crime. Boys are taught that men must be strong, dominating, and warrior-like behavior is what is needed from them. Hence the cars and trucks and soldier figurines. Any boy that shows an interest in the softer things is a problem. Maybe he's just going through a phase, the family usually whispers. Hopefully he ain't gonna turn out like Elsie's boy down the street. You know, he be carrying them handbags and such. Stop it. Now, Gina, I'm gonna jump right into this thing. As a youngster, were you ever told or taught that boys do not cry? And were you ever disciplined for crying or showing fear?
I'm gonna KIS it. I'm gonna keep it simple and stupid. I was taught unintentionally how to I was taught how to piss somebody off before I was taught to piss on my own.
Wow.
Like, our expectations sometimes, black men and black women, sometimes overstep the boundaries of the reality of where we actually at in life.
Right.
And sometimes it's because of the attitude or what we're dealing with as far as who our parent is.
Ooh, yes.
That's why I said I was taught to piss somebody off before I was taught how to piss on my own. Excuse me. Because, like, people forget that, like, where we at as persons and as human beings, that's cool. But we're here as teachers.
That's right.
Whether you're a male or a female. When it comes to a kid or when it comes to the younger generation, it's your responsibility to teach. But what you going to teach? Or what do you teach? A lot of times, that result is because of how you feel or what you actually going through as a person. That dictates how you are as a parent or as a teacher. So you have to be careful of what it is that you're putting into other people or other children or other people that don't know what you know.
Right.
Man, that's a great responsibility to be a teacher.
Yes, it is.
Not just school, because they forgot it, of course. But just in life, period. If you're able to show somebody else something that they don't know, that you know, man, that's great. It's cool. You're being used. You're letting yourself be used. But when you just bounce around and be arrogant and take the things that you know and give it to who you think deserves it, that's not cool. Anything that you know, you should be passing on.
Right.
Because that's the reason you have it.
Right, and I'm going to say this because to be an experienced something is a great teacher.
Come on.
And people don't realize that.
So without teaching who are, not just who are we, what are we? We Neanderthals. We just here passing time, or what we doing here for? What you got? See, so much pressure put on so many different people, whether it's a black male, whether it's a black woman, whether it's a black male or a black woman's certain situation. There's so much pressure put on people, man. Put pressure on everybody, man. What you here for?
Right.
If you don't know it, shut the fuck up. If you do, speak loud and clear.
That's right, and clear. That's the point.
Don't get caught up in the madness. If you don't know what you're here, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't know what you're here for, if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, that's cool. Because everybody's at a point where they don't know.
And can I emphasize right there, and we have to stop putting an age on things.
Man, age don't mean nothing.
It doesn't mean anything.
Wisdom is where it's at. What do you know?
That's right.
Not how long you been here.
Right.
Nigga, what you learned since you been here?
Exactly.
Woman, what you learned since you been here?
Right.
What you got to teach? Are you whining about what you want or what you still missing or what you still ain't got? And you've been through so many experiences and so much shit the way you understood already, but because you're jealous or envious of the next person, you don't want to spit or give the game that you've learned? Get out the way then.
Right. So do you think that emotional expression prevents us
Of course.
for looking to men as being a man?
Of
Because
course.
if y'all don't show expression?
Because so much emphasis is put on being men. That's what I did earlier in the first episode. You're a woman. What's the last three letters?
Right, man.
Okay, we both the same.
Man.
So whatever we need, you need too. That's all you're saying.
You can look at that through reproduction.
Right.
You got the organs. It ain't shit without mine, though. You can't reproduce without me. You can want to. You can put yourself in a position with even other men. But if they ain't in a position, or if you're not in a position for them to do what they need to do, you ain't gonna reproduce. It's so magical, man. It's supposed to be perfect. It's a situation. Reproduction is not just that reproduction. It's not what we look at it as. I'm pregnant. Or you got me pregnant. Nigga, we producing life.
Right.
We making something else. What we finna do with it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it finna be another piece of the negativity?
Yeah.
Or is it finna be something that we, you know what I'm saying, we're supposed to produce and we can do something with?
Exactly.
So how would you define masculinity?
Masculinity is so small because masculinity, when I think about masculinity, I played football all my life from Pop Warner up until I played semi-pro up until I was 26 years old. I was taught to be a certain way when I played that sport, and I can do it. But at the end of the day, that's not what makes me masculine.
Right.
Because I can play football, because I can be tough, because I can do X, Y, Z. What makes me masculine is because I recognize the difference between a male and a female. And I recognize what my purpose is and what her purpose is. And to make sure that I play mine. To me, that's masculinity. Because I can do stuff you can't do, and you can do stuff that I can't do.
Right.
Play your part, I play my part.
Because in my opinion, all humans, regardless of the fact that you are male or female, experience basic emotions like happiness, sadness, fear, and anger. Crying or even feeling sad and vulnerable is a natural emotional response. But somehow our society and culture norms expects boys and men to repress and hide their emotions. Crying should be looked at as being a positive thing.
Right.
Crying can be a healing. It can be that source of healing as a release. You have to look at that thing as a purge. You know, where you're getting something, toxins out of your body.
Yeah, it's like crying.
Yes.
Crying really is normal. But on us as black men, it's pushed as to being weak or to being soft or to something like that. Crying, dude, nigga, I'm letting go of an emotion that I don't want to hold no more.
That's
Right.
So
Or-
you're healing as you're crying.
Thank you.
Right.
I'm letting go of an emotion that I don't want to feel no more, that I felt before, or I'm in a certain situation where I can let it do what it do and leave. How do you do that, though? You don't do it by sitting and keep talking about it. That's the way to pass something.
Yeah.
The easiest way to pass something, man, is to purge it.
Right.
Cry. You get over it.
It's a way of
Pass it.
closure also.
And learn. Thank you. Purity. Man, why you think tears are salty? Man, that's damage
Ooh,
and,
I felt
and,
that.
and toxins
I felt
coming from our system.
Ooh.
Come on now. I mean, seriously, like, okay, all right. Where tears come from? Come from your eyes.
Right.
Come from crying, whatever. The same place that your mouth is, well, saliva and all that. Everybody remembers their first kiss or kissing their loved one or doing anything. Is it salty?
No.
Because it's not created to be a release.
Ooh. I like that.
But when you cry and you take some tears, is it salty?
Every time.
Get that shit out of there.
Man, you better tell
Male,
the people.
female,
Tell
black,
the people.
white, Hispanic. Get that shit out of there.
I'm about to take off.
You holding on to shit, man, it's gonna kill you or take your
Right.
fucking freedom from you. Because if you don't cry it out or get it out in a certain way, you'll move and act on it a certain way that's gonna be
It's still in
detrimental.
there. It's
That's gonna be
toxic.
detrimental. Because it don't go nowhere.
That's right.
There's no release for a release except what? Release.
That's right. That's the
Let the
release.
shit go. I don't give a fuck what the nigga sitting next to me in the car look like
Right.
at me or how he feel.
That's right.
Bro, this is how I feel about this situation.
Right.
If you're not in agreement, get out.
Right.
Because that means we ain't folk and we ain't vibing and we shouldn't even be in the car together at the same time and it's instant anyway.
Around 2004, I believe, I was working at Cigna Healthcare, and my coworker Tiffany Johnson had a CD titled Life 268-192. She was like, "This entire CD is fire." Yeah, she yelled across that cubicle and said that. We immediately, everybody in the office was like, "What's she talking about?" At the time, no one in the office has heard of this new singer. I asked her, "Let me listen to the CD and let me see if it's fire." I instantly, after listening to that entire CD, became a Life Jennings fan.
Yeah.
I call Life
Yeah.
Jennings the storyteller
Yeah.
because he takes you on a journey as you listen to his album,
For black man.
as he narrates the story of his life. Life has a song on that album called Cry that I want to tie into this episode. The song Cry by Life Jennings explores the concept of vulnerability and the importance of expressing one's emotions, particularly through crying. The lyrics recount various personal experiences and struggles that the artist faced. emphasizing the idea that everyone, regardless of gender or strength, goes through difficult times that may warrant shedding of tears. In the first verse, Jennings reflects on his past moments of wealth and poverty. Being the subject of gossip and dealing with depression, he admits that he hesitated to cry due to the strength of his pride, but eventually realized that crying is a natural and necessary part of the process of releasing emotions. Yeah. He suggested that it is impossible for anyone to be completely strong and without the need of tears. The course encourages embracing the act of crying and acknowledges that it is a shared experience. By suggesting that crying can be a unifying force, Jennings encourages listeners to let their emotions out and find solace in the support in others. In the second verse, Jennings discusses his experiences as both a player and someone who has been played. He admits to falling for manipulative tactics from unscrupulous partners and feeling embarrassed to seek medical attention from a sexually transmitted disease. However, he shares that over time, he has learned to care less about others' opinions, and he has accepted himself as a man who is allowed to cry.
That's right.
The bridge further challenges society's expectations by acknowledging that men, like anyone else, also face their fair share of problems and difficulties. It highlights the line. They say a man ain't supposed to cry, but I know for sure, that even men go through problems sometimes, implying that societal's expectations should not suppress the expression of emotions. And what I want to do right here is kind of share some of those lyrics with you so you can understand how deep life got on this track. Because I can't play it for you because of copyright issues. So I'm just going to read some lyrics so we don't get fined. I done had money. I done been broke. I done been talked about something awful. Done been lied on by so many folks. I done even been depressed at times and didn't want to cry because my pride was too strong. But over the years, I thought it over. And after struggling for so long and still holding on, I figured can't be nothing all that wrong with crying. If anybody says they're that strong, y'all know they're lying, right? See, crying is like taking your soul to the laundromat. It's like the feeling that you get when you see your grandmama smile or the heavens open up and blessings rain down. Go on, child, and cry. Go on and cry. Cry, cry, cry. We can cry together. See, I done been a player. I done been played. I done went from the oldest tricks to some of the coldest tricks God done ever made. Said I done even had a venereal disease and didn't want to go to the clinic. All that intention embarrassing me. But over the years, I have learned to understand that I don't really give a damn what nobody say. I'm a man and we cry. We cry, we cry, we cry together. Talking about whoa, whoa, whoa. So he just broke down on that. Y'all, if y'all listen to that, you can tell that he was emotional when he said that. So Gino, what are your thoughts on how vulnerable Life Jennings was on that track?
I think he was right on point. The only flaw to me was the fact that us as black people didn't really recognize it. Mm-hmm. And it didn't do what I think he expected for it to do. But because he was out of order or wrong or wasn't honest or wasn't 100, but just we didn't receive it in the way we should have. Because I know exactly what you're talking about, because I listen to Life Jennings. Life Jennings gangster as fuck.
Yes.
But he a different gangster as fuck. He ain't gangster on dump gangster. He's gangster on like black people moving and black men showing and using their strength, from black women doing the same, and us being cordial and being on the same page and prospering together. He's on all that. But at the end of the day, a lot of times in this music industry, especially in today's genre, shit, real shit's outnumbered.
Right.
So a lot of times, especially within the last few years, you can bring as much game or some real shit as you want, and it won't be accepted, and it won't be pushed, and it won't be responded to as it needs to be because it's not the norm.
Right. Aquanet, what are your thoughts on the track?
I'm gonna have to be real honest. I haven't heard it in a very long time. So the words that you have just said are actually the epitome, in my opinion, of what black men go through. And we just have to really recognize, like we've said before, they're hurting too.
Right.
They're fighting their own internal battles as well. They're fighting their own egos as well. So I truly feel like it needed to be heard, but like Gino said, it just wasn't received the way it needed to be. My personal opinion is because it was uplifting us. So that's why it didn't get the traction that it needed.
Right. And also he was a new artist, so that also has a lot to do with it. But sometimes you have the right sauce, but the timing is not right for that sauce. But those that needed to receive it, because baby, I received that thing.
That's life.
Woo child, when I tell y'all, life said crying is like taking y'all soul to the laundromat. I felt that thing all up and down my spirit. I'm going to say that again for listener land and for the people in the back. Crying is like taking your soul to the laundromat. There is power in that phrase. See, y'all, the washing machine is like a magical wand. The washing machine works by agitating the fabric with water and detergent, which helps to remove the dirt and the stains. The agitation process is achieved by a spinning drum, like I said, called the agitator. Most commonly, this is found, y'all, in a top-load washer machine. This allows the clothes to move back and forth. So it loosens up that soiled clothing, and along with the cleaning power of whatever detergent you put in there, that was added to remove the stains and any odors from that laundry. Crying is the ultimate cleaning and purification process that we need. Y'all don't hear me though. Crying does not necessarily mean that you are depressed or weak.
Right.
Crying means that you are ready to face and purge the negative toxins out your body.
Work on them.
Because crying, I'm going to say that again.
Please say it again.
Crying does not mean that you are depressed or weak. Crying means that you are ready to face and purge the negative toxins out of your body as you come to realize that you have accepted whatever you are going through that has caused you conflict or disdain in your life. And you are no longer allowing that displeasure to consume you. So you let those tears flow as an expression of release, like a wash machine does for those dirty ass clothes.
Right. Sometimes the first letter in the word ain't always the most powerful. Cause when you talk about crying, C don't really mean shit. When we get to the R, it means release.
Right.
Crying is not a show of emotion like we think it is. Crying is just that, a cry out.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to get rid of something and you don't know how. Or you want to embrace something, but you don't know how. You want to get past something, but you don't know how.
You better preach.
You want to stop thinking about something, but you don't know how. You want to stop feeling something, but you don't know how.
Right.
But in order to do all of those things, you got to cry.
Yes.
Male, female, black, white, whatever you got to cry, man. It's the only way to get rid of it.
Right.
Not that it's not going to come back. It's only going to come back if you let it. Because just because you release something don't mean a damn thing.
Right.
I can let something go all day long, but it can still fuck with me.
Yeah.
I can still think about it. I can still smell it. I can still taste it. I can still hear it. I can still feel it. It can still be a part of my history.
Yeah.
But I got to train my mind. Our brain is like a muscle.
Yeah, it is.
You got to train it. I still got to train my mind to get past that thought, that cry, that release, or whatever. Man, just because I go through it that one time, why you think? Because we all got it. Nobody can say they don't. You done got rid of something or you done felt a certain way about something. 2 months later, man, goddamn, how I get here? Because it wasn't gone, man.
Right, yeah.
Because it don't always take one time.
Right.
Just like in your house or your clothes.
Right. Yeah.
How many times you done fucked up something that you love or outfit you like and you spill something on it? All right, cool. Let me go spray and wash on it. Scrub it a little bit, throw it in the washer, wash it, come out. damn, I still see that bitch.
Right. Yeah.
Everything is not a one-step process.
That's right. Yeah.
Just like life. Sometimes you gotta keep going through certain shit and going through certain shit. But you're not going through it for nothing, because every time you go through it, you're building strength, you're building a legacy,
Stamina.
you're building who you are. You are building regression. You building you getting past shit.
And
You're making who you are and who you claim to be off of what you go through and what you do or do not give up on.
Right. And I'm going to say this, that tears have an important function in your body. There are 3 distinct kinds of tears. You have basal tears, continuously produced by your tear ducts to keep your eyes lubricated and healthy.
All right.
You have reflective tears, or what we call reflex tears. They release to clear your eyes of irritants like debris and smoke. So, when something gets in your eye, you start running.
Yeah.
That's that kind. We've all experienced that. Be like,
Yeah.
oh, I got something in my eye. And then it goes to what you just addressed. Those emotional tears. They flush that stress, those stress hormones and toxins out of the body. Gino, let me ask you this. I'm going to get in your business a little bit if you don't mind.
Get in my business.
When was the last time you cried and why? Look, I'm all in your business.
And you know what's funny? And today, Sunday, right? Friday.
Wow.
And now I don't know, I was feeling some kind of way or something happened. Excuse me. A lot of time, the greatest points in our journey are sometimes the saddest points, because we remember how we made it to that point in our journey.
Yes.
And so it wasn't sad tears. I was just sitting and I was like, man, damn, I can remember when. Or I still don't understand when. Because like a lot of times we get into thinking about when and how we got to where we at. We still don't know where we're going.
Yeah,
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
And sometimes that shit's still scary as fuck, especially depending on the multitude of what you came from.
Right. Yeah.
Is my end worth me still going through XYZ? Is it worth me experiencing hurt and pain? Is it worth me crying again? What does my future entail?
Right.
What does my end entail? What does what I have to offer other people through what I've went through entail? A lot of that, all that shit comes into emotion.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And emotion is not victimless to nobody.
Right.
And a lot of times we think it is, especially as men. Like when you're talking about the subject, especially as men, I'm supposed to be certain. No, man, you're supposed to be solid.
Yeah.
You're supposed to go through what you go through. You're supposed to understand your purpose and ride it out no matter what.
So as I'm listening to you, so you don't find it hard at all to express your emotions.
What does that mean?
Like you can be vulnerable at any point. Like you're not like, oh, I can't do this in front
I'm
of.
saying like to the
ladies.
masses, what does that mean? Like, so I'm not supposed to cry at a certain time. Oh, well, it's a couple niggas around me, or this situation, or I can't.
Well, I'm saying
I'm
that
supposed
because
to feel what the fuck I feel.
most time when, as boys, as I said in the beginning, they're trained not to cry, so that goes into adulthood.
I was one of them.
So I was gonna ask you, at what point
I was one of
did you
them.
have that turnaround that you like this? This wasn't a good
The first time
lesson that I was
the first
taught.
time you taste your tears. Because another man could tell me XYZ, but he can't tell me ABC until I go through my own ABCs.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I get to my own XYZs. So that I know what is important for me to shed tears. Not whether he feels it's important for me to or to not shed tears. You have to grasp and learn and go through your own journey to know who you are as a man. And sometimes going through your journey, as a man or a woman, learning, going through your journey is sometimes getting past what somebody else thought what the fuck they knew was right.
Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you taught me something don't mean you taught me right.
That's right. That's right.
Because you showed me something don't mean you showed me right. You showed me what the fuck you knew at your time and
Right.
at your place in your journey. This so happens to be close to the time that I experienced and came into my own journey.
Yeah.
So have you ever encouraged another man to just be vulnerable? Like to be like, man, you ain't gotta be this tough. Like, keep it real. Like, and how was that perceived?
Yes, but not in like the way you're saying it. I understand how you're saying it as a woman. But
That's what
nah.
I was about to say.
I would tell any nigga like right now, hey bro, if you gotta cry, cry.
Yeah.
Crying So it's cool for the motherfucker to get mad, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's cool for you to be confused. It's cool for you to be excited. It's cool. It's cool for you to show every emotion you got as a man,
But that.
except the emotions of what's really going on with you.
Mm-hmm.
You can show all that. A motherfucker can be celebrated for going to the pen for murdering another human being. You can be celebrated for going to the pen because you got caught or somebody told or whatever happened. With, you know what I'm saying? You got put over 30 bands and a couple birds. Whatever the situation is. All that's cool. You show your emotion. I didn't tell on nobody. I stood silent. I did whatever the fuck going on. Why is it, man, can't nobody cry? Because the devil ain't stupid. He know that's how the fuck you get rid of all the shit he send you through.
Yeah. That's right.
Every situation, every experience, every disagreement, every misunderstanding, all of that you can let go just through crying about it and letting the shit go. Male, female, don't matter. The toughest motherfucker don't matter. That's how you get rid of it. But he don't want you to know that, man, because he wins if you don't get rid of it. Because when you don't get rid of shit, when you don't get rid of negativity, when you don't get rid of your past, when you don't get rid of shit you didn't understand, where's it at? It's still with you.
Yep.
So therefore, your functions, your decisions, your choices, the company you keep, all that is going to be a result of who you are as a person because you keep holding on to shit that you just cry out.
Right.
That's right.
But he know that toughest motherfucker. If he cry that shit out, he'll be a gangster against you.
So let me ask you this. So, how do we go back to our young boys, even at toddlers? Because remember I said they can have a scrape and want to cry, and there's parents saying don't cry.
Right.
So how do we change that in our community? Like, like I have a son. My son I adopted. So let me just tell y'all this. I adopted my son. He was 12. So in my household, I always taught him to be emotional, express yourself, but be respectful. Like, I never shut him down for having his emotions. Because, he was going through a phase of that adoption period where there were all kind of emotions. Right. And I told him to let it out, express yourself. So I feel like I did my part. Like, I didn't hinder him from not doing it. But how can we change that narrative for our community and our culture? Because I really don't know. I just know what to do in my household. But it's like, since we have the attention of the masses, how can we navigate these waters to really teach something that this is not acceptable? I said it at the top of the episode. Like, I was just in disbelief when I witnessed that. I'm like, okay, we really telling our boys not to cry, that it's a scrape. Like I said, it may have just, now I might have been overacting. It was some blood. And maybe, you scratch, get a little scrape, the blood look like it's more gushing than what it is.
It's some blood.
But it's still blood.
It's some blood.
And that bothered me.
You know why? I didn't mean to come like that, but I meant to come like that. Because you're, as a black mother, you're 100% right. It's just rape. It's a situation. It's blood. It's blood. It's a little blood. Okay, we worried about teaching and helping our young black men off of scrapes, bruises, and bumps, and a little bit of blood. Hey man, what about them ones that got shot in the face and that was hung from trees and set on fire? Why we worrying about a little bit of blood? Teaching boys whatever the fuck you got to teach them to get them to be the men that they need to be. It's not wrong and not like, don't tell them not to cry. Make sure they crying about the right shit. Make sure you're crying because of emotion or how you feel about a certain situation or how you feel about a passion in your life or in your mind or in your heart, because that's what you was put it for. Don't cry about losing a friend.
Right.
Don't cry about losing a girlfriend. Don't cry about not getting what you want. But you can cry.
Yeah.
Cry about what you're supposed to cry for. Cry about what you're supposed to be emotionally on top of your game for. Because we all wasn't put here to look good and be prosperous. Some of us was put here just to serve a certain purpose, regardless of what you get out of it, how you feel about it, or what your journey is. Some of us go through pain, heartbreak, cry, hurt, hate other people, get over that hate, feel punches that wasn't even thrown because it was just emotional. But at the end of the day, you still get to the purpose of what the fuck you was here for.
Right.
And sometimes that's painful, but it's beautiful pain. Because at the end of the day, you understand it, you see it, and what you was here for and what God planned your purpose for, it gets fulfilled, and that's all that matters. See, us as people, we want to fight every damn thing. Sometimes you can't fight everything. Everything is not a battle.
That's true. Yeah.
Sometimes the battle is in just that, not battling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do what you're supposed to do. Be who you're supposed to be. Bless who you're supposed to bless. Play the part you're supposed to play, regardless of how it looks for you.
Mm-hmm.
And be happy with that. Because some people didn't even get to breathe the breath that we're breathing right now. Some of us are in our 40s and the past of midlife.
That's right.
But there's somebody somewhere that in the hospital took their first breath and it was their last two.
Yeah.
They didn't get to experience that journey. So you mean to tell me you're going to sit back and whine about how yours is going? Man, get over that shit.
So let me ask you this. So you said you had a daughter, right?
No, but that's my only child.
Your only
26
child.
years old. I was a single parent.
So in her upbringing to up to now,
Yeah.
what advice did you give her about expressing emotions?
All of it. What you feel is what you feel. I even told my daughter, like, when we got to certain points, when she got older and she left my house, you know what I'm saying? It's like, do how you feel about me, because we all had that when we doing that. I didn't like this, or I didn't like that when I was coming up. But it was reasons behind all that. So
That's right.
I had to prepare myself as a man, especially having a female. I had to prepare myself as a man to be like, okay, nigga, this might change or it might be different. But I didn't care because I knew what I did was what I was supposed to do. I knew I gave her everything I had. I knew I gave her everything that I possessed, just not as a man, but as a person, spiritually, mentally. I gave her all the game I could. And I told her, I said, man, that's what you do in life, man. Changing diapers is easy. You could teach somebody that's retarded, or somebody that don't have all of the assets and the thoughts that we have. You can teach them how to change diapers. You can teach them how to prepare food. You can teach them how to hold and rock a baby. You can teach them how to burp. You can do all that. I don't mean shit.
That's the easiest.
What matters as a parent, nigga, 15 or older. When they start growing, they really get into this life and really get to living. Like I told my daughter, I said, nigga, that's my job, because she don't know shit. I already been here. It's my job to give you everything that I got so you can go through what you have to go through without experiencing what I went through. Because I already gave the game. That way you can just go and live your own journey. You won't have to worry about repeating none of the Pop's mistakes, because I already gave them. I gave them to you.
So if she did repeat some of them, when you
I
said
still
mistakes,
love you. God bless you. And it's your journey.
But you will be open to that vulnerability that she has to share with you.
Holler at me
about that.
because it's my responsibility. That's why you're here, because of me. Man, so many of us forget that.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit
They do.
whether you white, black, Hispanic, Filipino, or whatever. When you have sex with a woman unprotected and you produce a child, there's nothing wrong with that. That's how life goes. But you instantly put yourself in a category of owing.
Yeah.
You don't owe them nothing about life. You don't owe them nothing about their journey. You owe them the shit that you've been through and what you already know about this experience because you chose to bring them here.
And that's a form of protection too.
Yeah. My daughter didn't send me no email. She didn't send me no text. She didn't say, hey, Gene, a.k.a. Gino, F-Trey, found a fucking fleet, click you ran, whatever. All the young shit, dumb shit, that don't mean nothing. She didn't send me no motherfucking voicemail and say, I want to be your daughter. I want to come here to earth.
Right.
Yeah.
That was off a decision I made. So therefore, I have the responsibility to teach her everything I know once she get here. That's what we miss as parents. So many motherfuckers worrying about child support and money and this and that and other. Now, the little shit. What do you know before something that you brought here comes?
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to teach them that.
Right.
It's your responsibility to guide them. It's your responsibility to be a fucking parent. I don't care the situation. And I did that. Was I great? No. Was I perfect? No. I was a parent, though. And that 26-year-old woman right now that gave me my first grandbaby and made me a granddad, she's 3 years old. I don't give a fuck who you are. You ask and say, was my daddy good? Or was my daddy XYZ? Man, she'll tell you all that. But perfect now, and I don't want to be. I'm glad I wasn't a perfect parent. Because the shit I learned and a lot of shit I was going through while I was raising her was just what she needed for me to be able to give her as far as game. I went through a lot and learned a lot just for her purpose.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what it's about.
Man,
It
we
really
miss that as
is.
parents.
We do. So I have a question for both of you, Kiana and Gino. So we were talking earlier about how you have told your son, Kiana, you need to be vulnerable. You need to release that. And Gino quickly said, well, you know, that's you coming from a mother's perspective. So do you all think that society has a way of trying to temper how we address a man being vulnerable? Because you talked about masculinity before.
I was gonna say I definitely think so, because they've been pitting boys against girls since the beginning. That's why I was trying to say what kind of toy. Doesn't mean, okay, let's just take for instance, girls like to play with cookware, but are men chefs too? Let's just keep it 100. Why they can't play with cookware? You know, I'm just keeping it 100.
It's called power.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, why is that? We got to stop that because it starts there. That's why I kept saying, let's go back to that upbringing.
Right.
Because how we're going to tell our men to be vulnerable with us as women in relationships when all they know is that masculinity and it's toxic at that.
Well, I like what Gino said earlier. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
I like what Gino said. He stated basically it's okay to go through the emotion, but don't stay in it.
Right.
Make sure you understand, like, this hurts right now, but let me refocus on what the purpose was. Just like if somebody is learning how to ride a bike, we're gonna fall, we're gonna scrape our knee or whatever, but we don't need to just dwell in the pain of what's happening. Release the tears and remember, oh yeah, but I'm supposed to be learning how to ride this thing.
Right.
So that's what I appreciated that you said also, Gino. So, but I think the dynamic is interesting because you have a son and you're a mother and he has a daughter and you're a man. Yeah. So, Gino, can you elaborate on the original question? Do you have nephews or anything?
That was the most confusing point in my life. For one, I was 21 years old. I was at my prime. For two, I was living in Atlanta, Georgia. I had a job. I just got accepted to Morris Brown College. And my mama called me and was like, hey, I'm in a bad situation. My mama's trying to get, you know what I'm saying, our daughter, XYZ to another. I dropped all that and came home to Tennessee. And I got cussed at my daughter. And sometimes I regretted it. Not because of the decision I made, but because sometimes I doubted myself in the person that I could be for this new little person. And I think that was the height of it. So that's why once I kind of got through it, as I was going through it, I felt more comfortable with being myself, because I would be like, man, goddamn. Like, I was a single parent. And
I know.
that nigga of a girl.
Right, yeah.
The last thing we understand and know is women.
Is women, right.
You know, and for me to be successful with it, when people talk about parenting, I think they put too much on it. I think they put too much on it just because of what we go through and what we see and what we endure and give up as a parent. Yeah. But you got to remember one thing, and this is not nothing against the parents who don't have theirs. But man, if you got kids and they still alive, man, and you raised them or you did the best you could, man, that's so great. They still here.
Yes, sir. Right. Yeah.
So that's the majority of your guidance and what you showed them and how you covered them or how you didn't cover them, or the things you taught them as a man or a woman, as a single parent. That's your success right there. It don't matter if they fuck with you, they like the fact that how they grew up. Don't mean nothing, man.
Right. Yeah. And we put too much pressure and stress.
Way too much, man. What did you do, though? Now, you know if you didn't do what you was supposed to, okay, eat that shit.
Yeah.
Take it and leave it alone. Let them have their grief, or however later on they'll come and get even, or they'll come later on and forgive you. One of them two have. But other than that, as a parent, man, you go.
I hear you walking through that in the prodigal son. You just gonna ignore that. She said that in the background.
Hey, you gonna go through that, man, because we put the wrong emphasis on relationships. We use them like coins. quarters go over here, dimes go over here, niggas go over there. Nah.
And that's not how it is.
A relationship
that
with a
analogy.
child
Yeah.
is just like your relationship with your husband.
That's right. It's
Your
a
relationship with your wife,
Mm-hmm.
your relationship with your mother or father, which is either healed or unhealed, is gonna come out in your relationship with
right.
your child.
Every time. Every time.
The sooner you figure it out, the better parent you'll be. Cause like me and my daughter, I know it was a lot because I know what I dealt with.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to sit back and be like, man, I was just I was great. Nigga, hey, remember I did this or I did that? Nah, man, hell, deal with me as a parent, baby. I'm sure you experienced. I gotta look at it like it though. If you don't look at it like that or accept it like that, you'll be sitting back thinking you was the greatest parent in the world and you fucking wasn't.
I'm the
You were
greatest
just
parent
the
in the
best.
world, baby.
See,
Best parent that you could be for the time.
I'm the best parent in the world.
But guess what? You better be.
And I'm
Because guess what? It ain't for me.
Right. Because if I
or
don't think I'm the
nobody
best
else,
parent, who
or
gonna
nobody
think
else
I
on
am?
this panel to judge you. Guess who gonna judge you? That child.
that's right. Yeah.
So it don't matter what Gino know.
That's
It don't
right.
matter what
My
nobody
child
else know.
thinks I'm the best.
Wait 5-10 years past the age of 18. You'll find out you was a good
You
parent.
passed the age
Yeah.
18. My child,
You will.
20 something.
Yeah, mine 26.
Yeah,
My
I'm
daughter's
acting
26 years old. I got
Same age.
a 3-year-old grandbaby. Hey,
Now,
Paisley.
wait a minute. I ain't ready for no grandbaby
Yeah.
shit now.
Hey, Paisley.
But
yeah,
yeah.
I'm a grandfather. I'm a grandfather.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a
But I'm
grandfather.
not ready. Look, you.
And I'll say this: my daughter, she'll be 25 this year, and just like you, Gino, I raised her by myself the whole time.
Yeah,
Didn't plan on it, but that's what happened.
right.
And we're at a stage now in our relationship where she can tell me, remember how
Yes.
you used to do this? Well, this is how it really made me feel.
Right.
And I really want to know, like, what was your thought behind it? And I'm like, Lord.
Right.
So, they really make you face the decision.
You face you. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's a beautiful thing. And there have been many times that she and I have cried. And she was telling me one time that she was actually dating a guy. She was like, I don't know, he cries a little bit more than I think I do. And I said, well, do you think that's a bad thing? I said, maybe he's healing. And she said, well, you know what? I didn't think about it like that. And I said, well, maybe that's something that you might need to just like recalibrate and know if that's somebody that you want to be with, because you're in your own healing journey as well. So those are things that I'm always curious about as far as like, boys crying versus girls crying. And so it's always interesting to me how we perceive that, not just as individuals, but as a society and as a community.
Right.
It's easy. It's easy when you talk about the perception of crying.
Mm-hmm.
You don't put emotions on a woman that you would a little girl. But when you're talking about life experiences and what you grow through and what you learn through, a lot of times you may be talking to a woman, but you're talking to a little girl.
Oh, yes.
Or you're talking to a man, but you're getting responses and you're getting feedback from a little boy.
Like a little boy, a man child. I just feel like you just.
But the only way to be able to deal with that is to have sympathy and to be
That's right.
a bigger person yourself and understand I was once that little boy or once that little girl. And instead of me cutting them off or saying you're responding like a little girl, don't do that, because she was a little girl too once.
That's right. Yeah.
So respond to the little girl like a little girl, but get in the game of a woman. And the same with a man.
Right.
You respond to him like a little boy he's acting out as, but you get in the game of a man because that's who you are now.
Right.
Now, excuse me for being a little choked up, but that's one of the biggest things in life that we miss.
So let me add to that. So what are some ways we can pour into men in our life in that aspect?
Easily pour into them. We leave it so much to them. It's their choice and their decision. Man, I don't want to hear that on this and other. Hey, man, if you got the game to give it. You don't got to be paid for it all the time.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's our biggest downfall. You got to be a superstar. You got to be this or that, or NBA, whatever, to give back to the community. That's not real. The realest motherfucker to be able to get back to the community is the motherfucker that survived through that community.
Exactly. Yeah.
So would you be open, or are you open to receive healing from a woman? Like if if a woman was to just sit down and say, Gina, there's some things I disagree with, but she's actually pouring knowledge into you. She's pointing out your wrongdoings, but she's uplifting you and affirming you.
I'm open to receive healing from anyone that has a heartbeat just like me.
Okay.
Because we all got healing to go through. It's just a fact of
Right.
how, who, when, or with.
We got to get past the ego. Like
Yeah,
you
that's
said
what I was going to say.
before.
I just want to see. And so that's a good thing that you opened up on here saying there's no ego.
Mhm.
You know, when it comes to, like you said, whoever got the knowledge to give, you're going to receive it as long as you know that they're giving and have good intentions on what they're giving.
Ego is a facade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ego is a facade, just like drugs, alcohol, and anything else that you cover up pain with.
Yeah. Mhm.
And you just can't buy ego.
Right.
But it comes in the same pack that coke do,
Mm-hmm.
or heroin do,
Yeah.
or pills do, or alcohol does, or sex does.
Yeah.
Anything that you use to abuse or to make yourself feel good or get past something that you truly feel inside of you, yeah, it's no different.
That's right.
And before we wrap this episode up, Gino, if you had about 3 minutes to talk to black men and young black boys, what would you say to them about expressing their emotions?
I'm gonna keep it 100.
Mm-hmm.
You invited me on the show today, right?
Yep. Keep it 100. We keep it 100 over here.
All right, you said 3 minutes, right?
Yep, got about 3 minutes.
I don't got 3 minutes saved for somebody else. Heal yourself.
Heal yourself.
Okay, who you are, male, female, young, black, white, it don't matter. Heal yourself. Go through everything that you need to go through, every emotion, every hurt,
Yeah.
every pain, every disagreement, every disappointment, every letdown, whatever it is that you feel for somebody else and yourself in the situation you're going through, man, deal with it.
Yep.
Heal, capital H-E-A-L, heal. You can never be successful without healing.
Most definitely. Thank you again, Gino, a.k.a. the Prodigal Son, and Aquanet for joining me on the I Am Kiana Scales podcast.
Woo.
Now let's get into this real talk. Sometimes a good cry is just what you need to release all the hurt you have built up inside. Black men, let your tears come. Let them water your soul. For tears are words the heart cannot express. Until next time.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to I Am Kiana Scales on YouTube and follow I Am Kiana Scales on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok. Also download the Streets 99.3 app.
Ladies, are you looking for the hottest fashions and accessories? Well, look no further. The Closet Experience has you covered. The Closet Experience has been delighting women of all ages and sizes since 2009. Visit theclosetexperience.com and save 10% with code PODCAST. That's PODCAST. The Closet Experience Boutique, where fashion and budget meet. The Closet Experience Boutique, where fashion and budget meet.
Looking for homemade taste with a touch of elegance? Visit justadelight.com and let Delightful Cakes and Catering cater your next event or special occasion. Delightful Cakes and Catering, where homemade taste meets elegant simplicity.
Real talk, real people, relevant conversations. The I Am Kiana Scales podcast.